Hey guys, Lazy Beast here, and today I just wanted to have a bit of a discussion with you guys and talk about a topic that I've been thinking about recently that you probably will have noticed yourself if you are thinking of playing a Druid in Battle for Azeroth. So the discussion is, do Druids suck? Are they bad in Battle for Azeroth? As you probably guessed by the title of the video. So, basically, why am I bothered? So I've been seeing quite a few videos and forum posts, and obviously like the big channels like rating the Druid and stuff and its various specs. Most of them are saying that Druid is pretty bad. It's like bottom of the pack for most things, specifically tanking, potentially healing, things like Mythic Plus. And the trouble with this is, it's something that happened with the Warlock at the start of Legion. I don't know if you ever remembered, that is 2 years ago. I can't remember the specific issue, but there was a lot of hate for Warlocks in Legion, and specifically when Mythic Plus came out, they just felt like, I think the issue was that they weren't pulling the weight DPS wise and things like that because their specs weren't tuned initially very well for Mythic Plus dungeons. So if you were a Warlock, you had a really hard time getting a decent group for like a relatively high level key. People just didn't want you because you weren't worthy to be in the group, or so they thought. But then that quickly turned around, and Warlocks, specifically Affliction Warlocks, were really good for AoE towards the end of Legion and like through most of it actually. So my worry this time is that because of all the ratings and things that are coming out for the Druid, specifically Guardian, Restore for Mythic Plus for example, people are just going to see you queue as a Druid and be like, no, we don't want him, he's a Druid, class X, Y and Z can do that job so much better. But the thing is, what you've got to pay attention to is in the videos of these people rating the Druid and slating it, they do actually say, which is very important, that the Druid can absolutely do the job. There's no point. There's complaints about it. It might not be the most fun spec to play, but can it do the job? Yes, it can. So this is something I'm going to just see how it happens, because obviously I'm bothered about this because actually I've changed my main from a Warlock to a Druid now. I'm going to be leveling my Druid first in Battle for Azeroth because I just want to be able to play each role. I find it a lot of fun, and I feel like I'll be able to stick with it much better if I can do each role, rather than just being a 3 DPS class. So I'm just going to see how this goes. The main reason I'm bothered about this is because I don't want all this negativity towards the Druid to kind of spiral out of control and the community get this vibe again, just like they did with the Warlock at the start of Legion. Everybody needs something to hate, right? So I guess I don't want everyone to be thinking, oh no, Druids, like ban them from the group, because if you actually take your time to look at the specs, then Balance, for example, was actually rated by Method, one of the, well, the top guild basically for raiding and Mythic Plus stuff in Warcraft at the minute, as one of the top 5 DPS for Mythic Plus. So there you go with Balance. You know, it's not all about the damage. And I guess maybe you could say the same for Feral as well. Feral is quite a complex spec to play and it's quite punishing. I personally love it because it gives you something more to think about rather than just a few buttons to press. It gives you a lot to think about, quite a lot of depth to the class. Maybe not as good utility-wise as Balance, but it's still good. I can see myself mainly just using Feral for single target bosses and raids and open world content and all that business. So as most of the negativity and complaints seems to be centered towards Guardian, does that mean that Guardian's really shit? Should you just not choose a Guardian tank for your group? No, absolutely doesn't mean that. You stick with the Guardian. You know, it's going to be great for progression in raids. It's still a solid tank. With Mythic Plus, it could struggle initially and stuff, but to be honest, all the tanks are struggling at the minute for Mythic Plus and things. I having to do a lot of kiting. Guardian, admittedly, can't kite very well because they've lost the slow from the Thrash Bleed, but it can still get the job done, and like all of the tanks, it's just going to get better and better as the expansion goes on, when gear starts to scale up and you get more secondary stats, etc, etc. So there's nothing really to worry about. With Restoration, it's still great, absolutely brilliant raid healer, king of dots as always. It's not as flashy as some of the other classes, and again, it's still got decent utility, it can perform well, and it can get the job done. It's important to remember when you think about a Druid thinking, oh, is it really crap, that Blizzard never aimed to have a class doing really poorly. Obviously something always does have to be bottom of the pack, and that isn't me saying that Druid is bottom of the pack, it depends who's playing. And if a class is uncompetitive or it's doing really poorly, then it's just a matter of time until it receives buffs, and we recently have seen some buffs for the Druid on various specs in the past couple of days. So basically all I'm asking guys is, and I know a lot of you will hopefully agree, is just be friendly to your neighbourhood Druid, share the love and we'll share the hots and dots, and just give a Druid a chance. If Druids do turn out to be awful, then slap me in the face, I'm very, very sorry, but I really can't see that happening. And just the last little important point to end on, guys, before I ask you a couple of questions is, unless you're pushing the really seriously high keys or like mythic raiding, class and what a class can do doesn't matter ultimately that much, because every single class can perform every role that they're meant to perform well. You know, obviously if played right and stuff, and if the team plays on each other's strengths and like helps everyone else out with the weaknesses. So as long as you play it as a team player, then you're going to be fine no matter what class you're playing. So guys, let me just ask, what are you going to be playing in Battle for Azeroth? Are you playing a Druid? Do you feel any of this negativity towards a Druid? Do you agree with any of it? What's your thoughts, guys? Let me know in the comments, please. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great day. Enjoy the Battle for Azeroth launch. It's nearly here, like 2 days away. Guys, take care. I've been LaserBeast, and I'll catch you next time.